Pickle Rick. Pickle power. Pickle power. I'm pissed off, okay? So here's the deal. I wake up and I'm like, damn, I gotta stream soon. What do I want to eat? And I'm like, okay, I'll make some hot dogs. I make some hot dogs. Well, okay, let's go back a bit. I finally did some laundry the other day. Yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday. I finally did some laundry. So I got like the most comfortable clothes of mine washed. Wearing them today because I was like, oh, hell yeah. Feels good wearing my faves again. I'm very comfortable. Makes me not so uncomfortable and feeling gross when I stream and get all sweaty after a few hours. So I make a hot dog. I make 2 hot dogs. And I sit down at my desk to eat while watching a video before starting stream up. And I take 1 goddamn bite into a hot dog and a giant glob of ketchup all over on my shirt and all over on my pants. And I had to change. I didn't even get to enjoy wearing them. They just immediately got covered in ketchup. And I wish I was dead. And this is proof that there is no God. And fuck everything. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? Pickle power. I say tonight as if it's not like 3 p.m. Miko, Sunny, Lala, the Squabin, Shiny, and Harris, welcome in. How's everybody doing? I hope we are doing well. I'm a little groggy, but Persona's taking a hold of me again. Lol. But have I shown this Pickle Rick video before? Surely I've referenced it. Surely I've referenced it like a few times in my life. Oh wait, there's the wrong thing. I've shown this before.
Pickle Rick, pickle Rick. Pickle.
For context, it's just it's a guy doing a Pickle Rick mod for GTA, but they just cut it to where every time he says pickle or Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick, pickle power. Pickle Rick, pickle. The pickle, I'm pickle Rick, pickle Rick, pickle Rick. Pickle Rick, pickle.
Dude, I hope Super Pickle's in this game, actually.
Pickle.
Anyway. Oh, wait. Oh, this is a good video. We're watching this next. Slept the whole day and woke up at like 4:30. Dude, it'd be like that, honestly. Doing well. Bloodstains from the hot dog wars. Damn. Another war. When will it end? Oh, what a fierce creature!
Well, I guess we figured out how to play with her.
This is so awesome.
Vanilla.
Oh! Oh, good creature. I'm gonna scream, dude. Why are bunnies so fucking cute, man? They're so freaking awesome. Anyway, what were we doing? Oh, right. GTA 5 is a Gen AI game that got teleported back to 2013. What are you talking about? The Canadian, using Canadian internet to watch this? Damn. Is that good or bad? Is Canadian internet bad? Is it like Australian internet? Anyway, yeah, so today we're playing a detective game. It was recommended by Scrubbin, because I want to play more indie games on stream. Just like we always have a JRPG in the rotation. I kind of would like to have it to where there's always an indie game in rotation. So today, we're checking out Of the Devil. All I know is it's a detective game, and it's apparently kind of gay. Based on the trailer I saw, it seems kind of like Danganronpa-esque in visual style. But I'm not sure if that will be reflected in the writing. I'm hoping it's not reflected in the writing. We'll see. But yeah, we're gonna We're just going to be playing that today. Let's jump right in. There we go. I was like, I forgot how to do this. Okay, here we are. Oh, the game is muted. Hold up. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Anyway, listen to these hi-hats, dude. It's like I'm listening to a song from 2013 on the radio. Y'all remember that era? I mean, I'm hoping y'all are old enough for that era. Where like every song on the radio just had like a low like hum to it and then a hi-hat and that was it. And then it was like somebody just kind of like singing or talking soft the whole time and it was really boring. Which we still get that like quite a bit. But not, that was like all you would hear. It'd be Adele, 21 Pilots, or that. Like all the time. And shit was exhausting. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's a bit quiet. Oh, everything's maxed up. Well, we'll see. We'll see as we go on. These clicks and clacks are very loud, so maybe not. Anyway, yeah, so here's the deal. It's an episodic game, but episode 0 is free to play, which is why we're playing it now. If I like it enough, maybe I'll get episode 2, and then or episode 1 and episode 2, and then we'll big freaking play those eventually. But we're just kind of seeing how we feel of the devil. So, like, is this a Christmassy game? It looks kind of Christmassy. Rain sizzles off neon above me. The summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street. And a slight blunting of the night's ambience. Emphasis on slight. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. Sure. Yippee! Hi, Spectra. This city's got insomnia with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the secondhand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. What? Morgan Freeman? Criminal attorney. Oh, it is. We are a goddamn attorney. Son of a bitch. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. By the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown, and always online. Whether it's incandescent or neon or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen, there's a light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, anonymity is scarce. And criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at public defender work no matter the hour. And should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke him if you got him. Not that there's much else I can do until... Ring! My phone! This is basically what the UK is trying to make. I'm not gonna lie, we're kind of like already there all over the world. This game will give a throwaway line about new tech, then you'll throw up because it's the most dystopian thing ever. Real shit, man. Oh my god, some of these effects are very loud. I need to turn them down. Can I open my menu, or am I going to like crash the game if I do that? Well, counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door center to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. 15 minutes early. Fuck. No time for coffee. I'll try, heart. Okay. Hold on. Quick bar. Backlog. Hold on. Phone. There we go. Yeah. The sound effects are like so much louder than literally everything. It's kind of obscene that I had to lower it to like 30% to be kind of level with the music. I won't lie. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll have used that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. We're gonna fuck. episode 0. And he shall appear. Disable tutorials? No, I probably should read tutorials. If you think about it, all these lights are kind of like Christmas because there's like Christmas lights on the street and stuff. Precinct 254. It's a goddamn ghost town with nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide. High clearance rates be damned. You think they treat it with a little more gravitas. She has canonical lower back pain. Same, dude. But whatever, if I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can poke around and shake some change loose. Press the phone button or tap the phone icon in the top left to access the pause menu. I did that earlier! If you think about it, both Christmas and this game are dystopian. True! Look around for points of interest you can check to investigate the area. You'll earn credit for investigating anything and everything you can. It's both a measure of your information gathering skills and your own credibility. So don't go broke. Oh, that's a cute little card. Look at that. Go woke, go broke. Observe. An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. Though museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. The homicide department's more like an addict. I got credit, dude! Yes! Credit karma's gonna go crazy. Hard to believe that they were ever so busy that they had witnessed making IDs in this lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during the traumatic events, memory formation is blah, blah, blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. But there's no room to sow doubt anymore, not when a modded witness can submit their testimony as a video recording. Whoa, watching stream while I wait for my pizza to finish cooking. What type of pizza? Also, hi, Juno. Is the audio good or is it too loud? It might be a little too loud, I think. Well, no, maybe it's fine. Let me know. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. What the hell? Read. A data pad? I'll bite. Perhaps a tad loud. Okay, hold up. I can. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Shit. There we go. No, that should be better. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Oh, what was it? Keep an eye out for articles in the environment. They'll offer insight on the world around you and credit towards your investigation. Articles are added to your phone's reading list after you first read them. Choose the proper takeaway after reading them and you'll earn additional bonus credit too. What are we playing? We're playing Of the Devil. Speak of the devil. We're playing Of the Devil. From the Bible? Yeah, from the Bible. It's McFreaking scary. Wait, yeah, this game's about the devil. That's Christian, like Christmas is. Subway fixes act. City to refocus on canopy. Declaring the subway tunnels to the irreparably flooded. City engineers announced this week that all the plans to drain and repair the system are being suspended indefinitely. Saltwater damage to sensitive electronic cabling and erosion of key tunnel fixtures were cited as reasons for why 89% of the subway system was evaluated as critically compromised or worse. Civil engineering efforts will, let me scroll. Okay. Will be refocused on the maintenance and expansion of the hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, walkways, and skyscrapers into the canopy high above our city streets. Reactions to the announcement can be characterized as blasé. It's been years since the subway last ran and decades since the last ran on schedule. Most citizens have long since given up hope while they're ever making a comeback. Online chatter barely reacted to the announcement, with most commenters and voters' attention focused instead of the growing investigations into Councilman Long's. Oh, his name is Long. Campaign finance irregularities. As one of the Canopy Major's backers, Backers in City Hall, Long has often found himself at odds with the small but vocal groups of critics that consider it to be an eyesore and an amplifier of light and noise pollution. With Long having stepped away from his political duties in order to more fully cooperate with investigators, for the first time in nearly 20 years, the typically rock-steady political foundation of the Canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky going into this week. But with the subways now officially no longer an option, people and corporations alike have little choice for how they complete their morning commute. You can skim the yellow text for important the bits. Okay. So hold on. What were the important bits? Investigations into the campaign finance irregularities. He is one of the backers of the Canopy. Civil engineering and the hyper infrastructure and corporations and people both cannot do the commute. However, not all reactions to news have been negative. At least a few bold individuals see this latest report as a vindication and possibly even a rallying cry. Already considered by many to be the rising star of the infrastructure solutions abroad, tech startup Subterra made headlines last year with their radical proposal for a system of personal submarine taxi pods that could make use of the flooded subway tunnels, but momentum stalled when their first prototype for the city came in at a disappointing 3.359% over budget. Fuck, dude. Though one council member was quoted as calling their system mind-boggling, wasteful, and impractical in the extreme. In light of this latest announcement, Subterra has proudly declared their intent to resubmit the proposal package. Across the entire globe, coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers to rising sea levels and subterranean flooding that satisfy financial, practical, and aesthetical concerns. Historically, most scientists have attributed this increase in sea level to climate change, though there are dissenting voices. Water rises and falls all the time. For reasons we do not fully understand. Yeah, okay. It appears that you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Please, fuck! Ballsy of them putting the paywall there. As if I'd reach for my wallet having to read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaways that the city will be focusing its efforts on. The Canopy. There'll be increased scrutiny surrounding the Canopy now that there's no plan B. It's a massive project with a massive budget. Lines the pockets of a lot of people, big and small. Duh, people. None of them would appreciate bad press at the moment, not when Councilman Long's already thoroughly chummed the waters. Damn. Anything else I can look at? You did it, you were smart. Yippee! My brain is ginormous. The medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Rolling the dice? Gambling? Could probably know the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-1 ratio of public health awards and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get served at state buildings. This desk is programmed for for check-in and information only. If you are experiencing an emergency, please use our universal contact number at string not found. Damn. How do I type that on my phone? But there's a few missing persons too. 1 year of silver plan coverage, courtesy of Kadashis as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate. All right. Ow! My hair's tangled. I was like running my hands through my hair and it got knotted and it hurt. Oh, I can inspect this. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic brutalism so textbook it could teach freshman level architecture. Can almost hear the building drone on and on about concrete and iron hard right angles. The civil planning equivalents of battle scars from a fight won so long ago that they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built. But walking in here now with crime rates where they are feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Alright, I've taken in the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. It booted up fine. So far, so good. Purple text means you have a term you can look up in your phone. Oh, it's like the freaking AI the Somnium Files does that. Good morning. Morgan here for the Public Defender contract. Could you please provide your name and... Great, please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call Intake Hollows charming, more like harmless. But that's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their tech as long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far, so good, was it? Scan my card. Say, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great! Now, could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Oh my god. My birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. I'd have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem. My birthday's... Hold up. Article. Where's the profiles? Me. December 26th. Boxing Day, baby. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and for taking this public defender contract. Almost Christmas. Dude, it is almost Christmas. Wait, this game is about Christmas. Oh, I can't wait to open presents at the end. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to the counseling quarter 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room? I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. They could call the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection duly warped across gunmetal walls. Brrr. Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else? Choices that progress the story forward will cause other options to shrink away when selected. What? Choices that take the conversation down side paths before returning to this point will not. Because the article you read earlier, you've unlocked additional choice in this dialogue. Read and examine at every opportunity to build up your knowledge and get the most out of every conversation. Why the disrepair? I know the city's not terribly concerned with lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? This facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? They ever going to fix that crack? Crack? What the f... Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? What are you? I'm a smart user interface proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I could send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages? No, I'm good. That was a mean question to ask. That'll be all. Thank you. You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office through the door on your right. Thanks, but I think it's just for me now. So could you go on? You could go on break if you'd like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. Then what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counselor quarters past our homicide detective's office through the door to the right. Thank you. Ads don't get breaks and they don't get any jokes, but it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. That feels mean. I don't like that. He's gone bad or something? A voice. No, voice is coming from down the hall. Compared to yours, probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. A building this empty, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. God forbid you try to be serious. While the other rings with useful indignation. It's not like our job's important or anything. Definitely cops. Yuck! And at this precinct at this hour, or this part of the country, localized entirely in your precinct. They might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Why else would you bother to print all that out? One document or 100 looks the same on the data pad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file on hand. Makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother, their big brother. Wasn't going to say that. So how many of these sheets were blank then? 2 characters. One is a woman. No red carpet tonight, officers? Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around these hours. Probably faster to let desk handle intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am. Yes. Oh, why does he look like that? I don't like the way he looks. Freaky. Looks like bro got punched in the chin and it just like dented into his jaw. Morgan Esquire, pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Oh, fuck. Kazim? Kazim London? Is that right? In the ball, Sunshine here is my partner, Pharaoh Reyes. Kazim? Okay, cool. Ball of Sunshine? She certainly is. Huh? Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Give me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette like tobacco? What are you, 80? She can't be more than a few years younger than me. I'll beat the fucking shit out of her! We're detectives in charge of this particular case, and it looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologize in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouse before. He never struck me as more than just some old timer. Why is your chin like that? It looks like he's related to Fred from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Fred? Hi, it's Fred! That guy? Hold up. Fred from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Who the fuck are you talking about? Who are you? You're literally making up characters. Oh, it's the freaking guy who wants to shave him. I guess I kind of see it. The hair. Like the texture of the hair. Never struck me as more than just some old timer. But I suppose being an old timer is an accomplishment in of itself. And his profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shift still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe. She's cute though. The whole 2 whole detectives working at these hours. Sounds serious. Unless you were just first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not nearly that timely. Uniforms respond to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. You think we were the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? But I might as well bite at this point. So you suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it in the public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. The heartbreak killer? Is he an incel? And we've got the bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass the shitstorm onto some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rock you live under? Is there a problem? You seriously not familiar with Hong Kong? Oh no, the Heartbreak Killer. Never heard of him. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. That name has been plastered all over the city for weeks, their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. Their presumed goals flip-flopping from an unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners in the media, on the net, everyone's indulging in the same kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. True! Kinda cooking. I take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off? Must have at least heard of his MO. Media's gone crazy with it. Along with everyone else. 1 bullet straight through the heart, body left to lie where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. Dude, literally shot through the heart, and he's to blame? What the fuck? What you won't read about online is all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. Okay, 2 things. Is that hard to do? Like, even a revolver has, 6 bullets in a chamber. Or can't have 6 bullets in a chamber. 2, how do they know that? Well, able to say I know, but 6 for 6? It's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at the shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. Bon Jovi mentioned. Who's Bon Jovi? Just kidding. I couldn't not laugh. I couldn't play dumb. The spent casings would still be in the gun. I just don't know how guns work. I'm not going to like argue anything. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. Yeah, but shooting 6 people with accuracy like that, it's a whole different beast. Takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Sounds robotic. You almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it's not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. Of course, my mistake. So all those androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky, I guess they're all firing blanks. Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they've been for decades, but they don't commit murder. I mean... he only needs 1 bullet to hit directly in the heart, so it's insane to do it. Gotcha. Evil like heartbreak is all like all organic. It's a pretty terrifying thought. Should really start paying more attention to the news. I managed to miss 6 murders. Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You still not getting it? 6th victim was found a few hours ago when we caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you've convinced that my client is the heartbreak killer and tonight was just his latest crime. It's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up. I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Well, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in the discovery files and the arcs, of course. The Ark of the Covenant. I'm sorry. Ark of the Covenant. That's what 343 sounds like. Join the local net on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, could I ask you two some questions while I got you here? The hell kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney. You're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. Not like they're going to be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your client stew in interrogation all night for all I care. You mean the counseling quarters? We're at your disposal, counselor. We gotta inspect everything before we talk. We gotta look at everything. We can't. Hold on. We gotta look at the profiles. First of all, let's finish reading us. Occupation, criminal defense attorney, likes puzzles, smoking, wooden furniture. I love this about these types of games where it's like they just have some really specific thing that it feels kind of like inconsequential to put in here. Like how you play like AI the Somnium Files and it's like Mizuki likes her friends, rabbits, and lead pipes. And it's like, okay. Like, that's a really, like, specific character archetype. Dislikes commercials, hairdressers, jogging, talent, can fall asleep at any position. I'm so fucking jealous. Coffee, decaf, whiskey, sour drink. Height, 175 centimeters. What is that? What is that in feet? That's like 5'7". Give me a second. Nobody tell me. Nobody tell me. Nobody tell me. Nobody tell me. I'm looking it up. Nobody. Only I can tell me. 5'9". I wasn't horribly off, but not necessarily close either. Is this an indie game? I think so. I'm like 99.9% sure. Wait, is there more to these or is it just that? I guess not. Farah Rise, October 19th, height 162. I know that's like 5'1", because I think 165 is 5'2". Or no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Hold up. 162 centimeters, 2 inches. No, 155 I think is what I'm thinking of. Or 157 is... 158 is 5'2". Okay. So she's like 5'4", a little under 5'4". She's 21 feet tall. Oh my god. A homicide detective, 3rd class. She likes rice, limes, and automotive history. Again, like, There's that one random thing. Dislikes liars, cheap people, small plates. Dude, I won't lie. And this is just me being like a hater. I won't lie. I do kind of get annoyed whenever someone makes like a character, like get to know them sheet, and it's like dislikes mean people. And it's like, yeah, no shit, man. Like that you could say that about probably 90% of your characters. That doesn't teach me anything. Enjoys watching product reviews. Bad at games of chance. Bad at gambling. Right eye, Osiris Elite 86. Damn, Osiris. That's a funny name considering some recent writing stuff. It is an indie games made about it's made by around 5 people and a single writer. Kind of epic. London. Kazim London with this fucked up chin. May 5th. May the 5th be with you. Oh my god. Homicide detective first class. Photography. Dive bars. Bangs. Oh, like women with bangs or people with bangs, I guess. I thought that was like gunshots? Dislikes ties Pollen's after work messages. True. Listens to podcasts. Oh my god. Shout out Reddit gang, Reddit crew. Can we get some Reddit gold in chat? Pencil sketching frequently, running late. Me too. So I am interested that our weight is null. I wonder what that's about. Heartbreak. Wow. You look awesome. Date of birth unknown. Height unknown. Weight unknown. Blood type unknown. Occupation criminal. Likes killing, dislikes getting caught. Like, come on, man. I will listen. I will respect. Favorite color probably red. That's funny. Zodiac sign probably not into astrology. Reward suspended due to influx of false reports. Damn. Dude, I got so many freaking credits. Terms, arcs. Augmented reality crime scene is an investigative tool in which data harvested by sensors born in first responders is used to reconstruct a digital copy of a pristine crime scene. Oh, AI Nirvana initiative has something like that. Articles. I'm just doing that to get rid of the red dot. How do I save my game? Guys, I found it. All right, let's look around. I too dislike getting caught. Dude, honestly, so true. Also, hi, Troy. Barren, stark, and uninviting. This must be, I forgot how to pronounce the last name. The Ray's desk. Ray's desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single note of personalization. She's so new she hasn't had time to unpack, or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. She's cute. Wow. Reyes, gotcha. You shouldn't have cleaned up so much just for little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system, or even just a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. He doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. I bet he's freaking evil! Loose wires, missing panels, and an aircon system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I expected to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide, but I didn't think their operator would be this bare bones. They got a stunning clearance rate and they work fast. Guess the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy, while with our dear doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So Homicide ends up as the only state department with a shrinking budget, a dumping grounds for the police force's most unambitious and least popular. Eat the poker chips. Oh, another article. Oh, hooray, huzzah. Oh, yes, so much reading to do. Latest Noble androids receive warm welcome. Bolstered by a strong earnings report and surging sales of the Animate 16, Noble Electronics stock rose at a stunning 3% this week to a new record high. While Noble's latest iteration has yet to surpass the sheer popularity of the predecessors, an increased profit margin has left Noble shareholders very enthused. Many investors are skeptical when, at their now infamous 2084 trade convention, Noble announced that the 16th line would be the first generation of androids to feature over 50% organic components. so-called warm androids, which at the time only saw demand in the health, senior, and childcare sectors, were so looked down upon as impractical due to increased maintenance costs, cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like. And while some critics voice concerns that French religious or traditionalist groups might find warm androids controversial, more business-focused minds fear that Noble was alienating its customers in the industrial and military sectors in order to cater to civilian consumers. Users have viewed their androids from across the room and not from above the factory floor. Well, however, as has often been the case in the last decade, Noble's doubters were proven wrong. The Animate 16 is poised to break profitability records with no signs of slowing down, and maybe industry analysts predict that these once rare organic androids will completely replace their more robotic predecessors in daily life within the next 3 to 5 years. As described in the earnings report, much of the 16th line's success, and indeed the success of Noble's androids in general, can be attributed to the remarkable lifelike, personable charm of their products, and by all accounts that the charm can be attributed to the work of the Noble's famed lead programmer, Dr. David Asher. Lead programmer is the understatement of the century, said Noble brand ambassador Lucy D's Nuts on stage at their latest hashtag Noble Industry Weekend. It's because of his Turing solution that every Noble product, from the sleekest assistants to the most advanced intensive care technicians, are so beloved and trusted by our customers. While his reputation was on a full display at the event, Dr. Asher himself was nowhere to be seen. He was always been reclusive, but he's become a genuine hermit in recent years. Are we really to believe he's still... Oh, hey fam, looks like you're not logged into this device. Want to put in your account info so we can help you keep reading? Fuck! You think Noble ever made the FNAF animatronics? Maybe. Would be kind of silly. He's in the news again. It's no wonder. They can't spit without it landing on a piece of Noble tech these days. See, literally, I mentioned in the Discord yesterday that, like, I've had a, whatchamacallit, like a story draft for, like, a detective game myself at some point. And androids are like the center focus of it. The idea of androids transhumanism. The main character is like an android built to be like an advanced detective. And I'm like, this is just making me want to work on that now. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids though. For government use, they're just too frail. All androids undergo wear and tear, especially if they're directing traffic or suppressing crowds. So these warm androids bleed pink all over themselves every time they take a rock to the cheek. It's just an endless stream of bad photo ops waiting to happen. There's a lot of transhumanism in Chapter 1. Damn. Nothing else jumps out at me around here. I've got a better idea for who I'm dealing with at least. I need to check on the crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. You've been granted access to the state files regarding case KL433511. Pretzel, welcome in. Reply C to confirm. Hold up. Oh, wait, give me a second. Oh. Sorry, I just had to close my door. People are home and I don't want to bother them with my shouting. Hello. Reply C to confirm. Confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I'm an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit the user's preferences. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply with C. C. It's case sensitive. C. That's too real. Have y'all actually like had that where it's like reply Y to confirm and then you hit yes and then it's like error. Press Y to confirm and then you press Y and it's like, well, we didn't register that because we're still caught up on you typing yes earlier. Would you like us to resend a confirmation? Yes. Press Y to confirm, motherfucker. Oh yeah, that's not a virus waiting to happen. If I project from my phone. Are we going into the McFreaking crime scene? Whoa. Whoa. Better. Wow. Augmented reality crime scene. Okay. I'm curious if this has any inspiration from the AI games. Because this right here, I'm like, this reminds me so much of Nirvana Initiative. Though I guess Detroit Become Human did something like this too, didn't it? Let's see what the police have and what they think is important. Oh, the body, the victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma. Class 4 blood loss. Atrium and aorta. Single gunshot would be wound to the heart, and brief death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else, and no blood or skin under nails. Blood splatter forensics and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. So the killer was standing in the doorway when they fired. Gun. The murder weapon. A revolver. Ocelot. Is that a turkey leg over there? Where? Under there? Underwear. A murder weapon. A revolver found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically disassembled the damn thing, but all they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. So he was found by the police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly would be an understatement. Turkey leg. Is this the turkey leg? It might actually might be a vase. Something tells me this is a vase and not a giant turkey leg. Call me crazy. Seems like this turkey leg got tossed aside at some point. No, it is! And yet there's not a scratch on it. Must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. Wow. Wow. Stand-up mirror shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come unattached from its arm, while shards of glass were scattered far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. That's all the big ticket items. What about the security? So did the body fall into it like they got shot, then their head hit it and knocked it down? Or was the bullet so McFreaking powerful that it went through the heart and into the monitor? And then it's like, there's no way that could have been a McFreaking pistol. Unless it's the world's most powerful pistol of all time. I don't know guns. Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this. No signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case, but what about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here, just a lounge chair that got thrown in, whatever that is. The potion! Oh! Drink up my mysterious potion next to the balloon animal. Unidentified ceramic debris. That's my favorite Toho game. The gay potion. Flag is irrelevant. That's their technical assessment. Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay, that's everything that the police highlighted. But did I miss anything? No. Come on. You're going to highlight a purple and then just have that like toss away dialogue? Get me out of here. Huh? The hell is that? Something in the victim's hand? It's just a pill organizer. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs, and tripexosone, a synthetic glucocorticoid medication. Taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her tox screen was clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Or is it? Everything else here is all very incriminating, but the kicker is everything that's not here. No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs. Nothing that points towards anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with less before, but not much more. I'm really going to have to sing for my supper this time. Better start. Who's the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person who comes to mind is, it could be something important. We're texting with Brat. The Charlie XEX. I'm a forensics major and I know my autistic ass is going to sit here like, yeah, that shit inaccurate as fuck. Oh, Lord. Suspend your disbelief. Why couldn't I wait until morning? Good news, of course. Got a job for you. Aren't I already on a job? That's a pretty cheery way to tell me you violated parole. Not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Crumbs are so fucked up. It's Street Pass that tracks your exact location anytime you pass another electronic device. Yeah, that sounds like something that would exist at some point. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? Make me run laps? Not illegal. Let me finish. They made me run laps, even though I had a stomach ache. Even though I said I had a stomach ache, said. Gotta be like youth endangerment. Depraved indifference or some kind of shit. Sounds like you've already got a strong case. Try self-representing this time. What's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh, wow, I'm laughing so hard, RN. Yooree, Twitch didn't tell me you're live. Let's kill it. Twitch has been pissing me off, bro. We need to kill Twitch, but welcome in, nobody. Magically identifying pills in an organizer would be a forensics thing done by a lab unless you found the bottle at the scene. It's okay, but we have like sci-fi scanners. Cyberpunk super awesome scanners. Is that your mugshot? I wasn't gonna not get a copy of my mugshot and use it as a reaction. That's kind of base. I can't lie, that's kind of crazy. Glad you found a use case. But I'm working right now, so anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Okay, man. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid thing kids your age talk about? Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines, old-fashioned murder like Hardy B is like quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why'd you take the job? You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? You taking up lost cause? Probably no, pro knows work. It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concern nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker, you're a sucker. Nice phrasing, lol. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday. Yes. What's up with the Carpe Diem shit? I feel like I'm disassociating a bit. Brat uses they, them pronouns. Oh, that's cool. Sci-fi scanners. Yeah. It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You've got school in like 3 hours. Shit. Repeat offenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it. Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. Androids and cops. By the way, couldn't help but notice you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? I thought there'd at least be a few androids around. Aren't many androids at any police station this week. Not like the brass is renegotiating contracts. Not while. Contracts with Noble? Good guess. Hardly. They're the biggest. Hardly. They're the biggest robotics corp there is. Could spend all day in Center City without leaving their office's shadow. Actually, it's 4 in the morning. This is my face when it's 4 in the morning. Hold up. No, I got a good thing for this. No, give me a second. This is so worth it. There we go. My face when I have to go to work and it's 4 in the morning. My face when it's 4 in the morning and I haven't had my coffee yet and people are trying to talk to me. My face when someone else called out sick, so I get called in on my day off at 4 in the morning. My face when it's 4 in the morning and I'm up late at night, even though I haven't slept in over 24 hours because my mind is racing in circles as I juggle with every single issue I have mentally that's never really been addressed by a psychiatrist because I can't afford the healthcare to go and do something like that. And I just roll over imposter syndrome, depression, anxiety, and lack of self-respect until I eventually fall asleep and wake up 3 hours later. Anyway, what were we talking about? I'm not going to get a picture of London's mugshot and not use it as a reaction image, honestly. My face wouldn't work. Honestly, though. Me, when I get reminded my company can have me work every single day of the week's 8+ hours a day because I have no labor laws to support me. Fucking epic. Could spend all day in Center City without leaving their office as a shadow. We're very... Excuse me. The hot dogs are catching up. I'm dying. I think I'm having a heart attack. We're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Save up some money on shipping at least. But these talks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those warm androids. Warm. Yeah, might as well call them the adult line. Might seem in bigger departments are out in control, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective. Yet. Until I make a video game. Any day now. Guess we should be expecting those any day now. Maybe android lawyers too. Get some get some android politicians in and we'll have the full set. Get real. People might like ads, but people might like ads who do what they're told, but they despise ads who tell them what to do. I'm not so sure. Cameras, sensors, satellites, we already get all our facts from machines. Give it a few more years. It might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The police union wouldn't let that happen. She didn't have specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. Heartbreak. Grok, is what the suspect said true? Your defendant was found red-handed, covered in the victim's blood. Grok, is this true? ChatGPT, can you fact check this for me? Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. Less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobats trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. Not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame him, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, but he's gotten away with... We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, detective. National DNA registry is robust enough the cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crime at an all-time low and clearance rates at an all-time high. But are you going to spout some alt-poll bullshit about invasion of privacy? Oh, does she like the government? People are safer now than any other time in history, detectives. So when people like Heartbreak does come along, good point. Len is trying to look like he can laugh it off, but pressure from the higher ups supposed to be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need, to see someone charged. Oh? That makes them predictable. What? Yeah, well, even if there's nothing standard about HK, Department SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. Imagine having so little brain cells you argue with an AI model in a social media app. Dude, it's crazy. It's a crazy world we're in right now. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. Yeah. But we can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. How's that even possible? I know there's some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? Do you think we'd let him? You think we'd have him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, man, but Optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance system signing up to feed into the state security network. It's not perfect, just another one of the many public safety tools in her belt. Morgan, are you a killer? Be honest. Give her the truth serum. It's not meant to be perfect, it's meant to help us solve crimes. Or at least as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Metal Gear. It's a nuclear deterrent. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved. But the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts, and the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They have mentioned if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. His file says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. Modded? Oh my god, was he made with Unity? So does he work construction for the city? HK's only ever struck at times in locations where optics could be down. Even with the devil's own luck. Of the devil! It can't possibly be a coincidence. So you're saying when this woman was killed, there was a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. And include the area surrounding the victim's apartment. Well, what about DNA from the other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. From the Bibble! The Bibble! Merry Christmas, everybody! No footage and no forensics. Also, no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost to even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break from the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics, no matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. How do I, hold on, how do I, give me a second. Give me a second. What? There we go. My face when I make a mistake. My face when I make a big oopsie whoopsie mistake. Anyway, I minimized everything for that. But HK's the kind of monster who doesn't make any mistakes. Only reason we ever caught him tonight was because he finished what he had set out to do all along. So was my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Were you listening? There was no list of suspects. You questioned some X's, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to one of our one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting on some kind of psych eval or something, but never expected much to come out of that. You do kind of got the 0M0 look. You know that image where it's like, bro got punched so hard he was turned into an NFT? Y'all remember that one? That's what his face reminds me of. There's not enough there to work with. In other words, the only thing they have, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If I can jostle that keystone, then the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Timeline. I saw the time of death was 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. But we managed thanks to less biased sources. Pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. So they interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 p.m. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Whoa, her eyes lighting up! It's like AI the Damia Mild. Couldn't wait to tell us about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the arcs, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered, but things go quiet sometime before 9 p.m. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio. Do scrubbers be scrubbing? Looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. We heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Ride Emergency Services got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9 p.m. Scrubbers are doing... What? Wait. Why? This is like the second stream in a row where like one of y'all's names came up in the game and it was like, wait a minute. No one seemed to recognize the sound of what it was, but the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrive on the street at 9:08 p.m., establish a perimeter, and enter through the open front door at 9:10 p.m. And when they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood, at which point they move to secure the scene and the suspect. Okay, listen, I know I keep comparing this to AI, the Somnium Files. It's because that's like my favorite detective game. I love it so much. Even debating streaming it in the near-ish future, like maybe next year. So like I really like it's not me harking on the game's originality, it's just that like that's my frame of reference for this type of stuff. But this is giving me vibes of Mizuki at the start of AI the Somnium Files, where it's like she was found at the crime scene holding the murder weapon of that was used to kill her mom. But it's like, but it is because like she kind of freaked out and you know, it was her fucking mom, right? Where I'm like, maybe the guy saw his girlfriend and was holding his girlfriend because he's like, oh my god, my fucking girlfriend's dead, not really thinking about, oh, this looks bad, you know? That's the vibe I'm getting right now. It makes me sad because I know Mizuki's voice actor is kind of an asshole. Edgeworth the gun a bit. Yeah, dude. Like basically every time there's like voice acting discourse, they're doing some fuck shit. But their performance as Mizuki is so fucking good. And the scene where they're asking Mizuki like, why did you have the ice pick? She's like freaking out, being like, all I know is my mom was sitting there with this thing stabbed in her eye. All I could think was I needed to get it out. You know, like, you know, I needed to remove this thing that like hurt my mom. And I'm like, it's so it's such a good scene. It's like, it's so small. It's like a small interaction, but it's like, it feels so real. I love Mizuki, man. She's one of my favorite characters in like any game. I'm gonna be real. I even though I'm not like too happy with how they did her character in Nirvana Initiative, which I can't really go into without spoiling the whole fucking game, but I hope if there is an AI 3, like an actual AI 3, not a spinoff like No Sleep for Kaname Date, I hope we get to play as Mizuki again, and I hope it's more like what I expected playing as Mizuki to be like. If you know, you know. If you don't, play the games and find out. At which point they moved to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand singular? Your client's modded, cybernetic right arm. Okay, got it. That's what that means. How modded are we talking about here? Register with a HAL 85 Habilis industrial grade looks like. Says he's spec'd for dexterous manipulation of up to a class 4 KPA. I can't stop burping. Which means a minimum grip strength of... Excuse me. Well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Considering a career change? No, it's not that. It's just... your eye must have been very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. Here, I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. Think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? Getting back on track, the arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. Hot dog burps. Dude, the hot dogs are fucking me up. They were not very good, I can't lie. Gives you my FA vibes. I read that. I didn't vocalize it. True. I want to play those games eventually on stream, but visual novels are very difficult. Like, unvoiced visual novels, it's a lot of reading, and it gets really tiring. So... it's very, very, it's a hard thing to commit to, which is the reason I've never done it. But I only got to, like, the last day of the third case in the original Ace Attorney, and I loved it. Getting back on track, the arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. Can't work without it, money's got tight. Arguing? Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. No chance to be willing to chalk that up to a coincidence. Client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver, and no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Calver, that M54, 6-chamber, 10mm. Calver, how retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. So it's not even like a super sci-fi revolver, it's just a revolver. I'm just saying, maybe it wasn't this gun. Also, I wanted to say something, and I forgot. So ignore me. What was I going to say? Fuck. Oh, yeah, I remember. The whole fingerprints on the gun thing. Can't you just wear like rubber gloves or like latex gloves and then your fingerprints don't show up on the thing you're using? Or is that a movie thing? Cause like every time someone's like, we found the fingerprints on the weapon, I'm like, okay, and I've seen the end of The Departed. You just put on some plastic and you're good. It's that easy. I'm sure that's how it works in real life. No tags. How is that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamp trigger pulls, safety is coded to owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags have made shooting crimes very unambiguous. Ah. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes. How else do you think he'd gotten away with this 5 other times? If you try to buy a gun legit, he'd probably fail the very first psych check. And even jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal sets in. So then M54, that's model year 2054. 30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have been over 30 years old too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in dark so far, but now that we have our hands on it, it's going to put him away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig, but with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets of the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks? Bullets fired from guns that are that old are marked by the barrel shape. So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling mark, we know they're all fired by the same gun. Forensics major time. Latex gloves do leave fingerprints? Really? So, okay. And I'm asking this, and I'm asking this in a void. They're harder to use than ones left by bare hands, but it's possible to get them. Okay, asking this in a void, not for, it's for creative writing purposes. Even though, like, if I made a detective game, it'd be in a fantasy setting where guns don't exist. How is there a type of glove or something where it would hide it, right? Like surely like mittens, right? But then it would be really hard to use the gun as a mitten. What'd be like the sweet in between? It's not plug and play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. If that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber, without even needing to reload. The caliber your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. An untagged gun just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just... To summarize them, you believe that my client fought verbally then physically with his girlfriend, and they retrieved his weapon and shot her? Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his effect? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost him points with the cops, but beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. So long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. True! So how about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Backer Flat, was arrested in the scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already? They really do think he's a serial killer. The charge being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn. First degree. That's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. The city's got damn near more cameras than people, so you got to be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gone away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. Nylon and microfiber, both are materials made to not transfer things and also not pick up debris and dust. That's crazy. That's gonna be like the worst thing. That's like, in general, that's like the hardest thing about like writing, is when you get to that point where like, I have the concepts, fuck, I have to do so much reading now to like figure out how believable that is. That's where I'm at right now, where I'm like, I got good concepts, but now I gotta like dive into more reading on imperialism, political theory, you know, foreign policy and stuff like that. And also just like revolutionary history and untold parts of the world. I'm like, fuck, man. Why can't writing be easy? I'm going to go with extraordinary. Let's put the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nut jobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead, so it makes you think this was premeditated. How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So serial killer chose his victims at random. If they have nothing in common, nothing in common at all. Other than that, they all look like cousins. Okay. Interesting. The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight. Those features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type, anyone can see that. You really want to try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from the portrait, but I can take a hint. Wait, how tall did you say? How tall? How tall? Oh, just about the same height, didn't say. Because I'm like, are you that height? Medical grade surgical gloves are also alright, but the latex gloves fail because oil and sweat can still go through. And also, the rubber latex is prone to picking up dust and stuff, and touching things can imprint your fingerprint ridges on the debris. That's so interesting. So you think what exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly, he went out and shot 5 other women first? Hey, if the shoe fits, then you put the shoe on. What Sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He's probably building up the nerve for tonight by practicing on these other similar women. Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. If that's, it's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. You want to claim that the previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. But if that were the case, there have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal, execution shots even more so. College come in handy for random detective game inquiry, for real. On God. College come in handy for so many things with, like, writing. I mean, it's like, funny enough, I know, listen, I know he's a controversial figure, but Stephen King, I think, is the one who said it. Where it's like, the best thing you can do as a writer is not study, like, not go to college for writing. Not because it's necessarily a waste of time, but because, you know, if you can have like any other special specific interests you know very well, you can import that into your story and make it more relatable and realistic, believable. That's the word I'm looking for. Honestly, I feel that, and that's been like my last semester was so huge. Taking a class on like East Asian imperialism, dude. Oh my God, the amount of mileage I've gotten off of one class. And the alien girl story I'm working on has been kind of obscene. Like, I went from having like a basic idea to like I've never had a more concrete concept for a story before. And it's been pretty great. So like, honest to God, like having any sort of special interest or like specific study in college can give you a lot of mileage in creative writing. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalike usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile, if you ask me. Okay. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. What did you mean by that, Morgan? Yeah, I don't know. Listen, man, I've played AI The Somnium Files. I know when a game wants me to think that the main character is the murderer. All right? It's called a red herring. Ever heard of it? It's called a misdirection. All right? Candidly, I've seen the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? It's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. Why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. Well, okay, that would have been nice to know before. Well, that's unexpected. I'm sorry, you're not telling me that he wrote a confession. Has it been verified? Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone and fraud and disinfo to get to the front of the line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you, it doesn't exactly make for light reading. I'll have to manage somehow. I need to see his confession for myself. Oh, here we go. Yes. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not want any of it to happen. Did not sick want any of it to happen. Can't wait to control when I can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. I wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't sick mean to at first, but I was hurting. I wanted to hurt wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough, I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. Interesting. That was a difficult read, barely legible in fact. Well, got a spin on that? No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he's asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for six murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't crueler than usual. That's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. True! Seriously, though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off if you don't mind. Mic's on or off is your call, counselor. But we'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuffs, the cuff that is, stays on. That worried about me. How chivalrous. Yeah, my armor's practically blinded. Gross, I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea, I do get paid either way. But the defense part of the defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he's also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That's a capital crime if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, and sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but it keeps him from, well, it's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty, that much is true. Saves the courts a great deal of time and money, and they show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one will ever be grateful towards the heartbreak killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. Yeah, I'm interested to read that one. June 5th. Dude, it's almost 6/9. That's so freaking funny. Wait, 2 more days and it's an even funnier number, actually. I thought that said door. I thought it was door flipped backwards, and I was like, that's not how you... 3 is not a letter. Okay, yeah, this guy's grimacing. Good for him. Terms. I already forgot. Virtual work release. Due to ongoing controversy following the suspected suicide of inmate, Galay, search results for this term have been temporarily blocked. Read more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here. Well, that's funny. I thought it said dude. Dude, they put Maximilian Dude in here? That's awesome. Wait, I should probably save. It's been a minute. It's been a while. That's some amount of days from Christmas. Dude, Christmas in July. Wait, but he's kind of hot. It's depressing as hell in here. Damn, alright. She got her own little portrait here. I need to liven this place up. Carlos flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. You've got a lot to cover, but this shouldn't take all night. What are you... Look, I already told you people. I'm not a cop, Carlos. I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it! I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you. He looks like a sad dog. He does. Yeah, well, they said that too. All of them did. Back there and here, keep repeating the whole ride over. They said that they were going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. Then they said that I killed, acting like they were on my side, and they thought that I could have, oh. It's not their job to help you, Carlos, but it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this in the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already question you, I'm sure, but they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay, what do you want to know? About you. Let's start small. Her hair reminds me of a character. I'm trying to remember who. She kind of has, she reminds me of, oh my god, what's her name from Ghost Trick? How could I forget her name? I love her so much. But she has, like, the red hair with the folded ponytail. Or is it folded? Yeah, it's folded, isn't it? It's not just a spiky ponytail, I think. I always love the folded ponytail look. I used to give so many character designs this. And it's funny because none of my current characters have that look anymore. Lynn, yes! Let's start simple. Something mundane, grounded, rote. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? And with city engineering. Or I was, or should be. As I thought, the police must be convinced you mapped out the optics blackouts using data you stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And, Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I know? He works in city engineering, not a desk job. Ree said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment. But based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty lifelike? Utilitarian. Does struck me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. I mean, like, I guess, like, having a long thing, like, a long arm, it'd have to be very, dexterous. You know, if it was just the hand, that'd be a different thing. But being the whole arm, it's gotta be a pretty thing. Pretty sure Carlos didn't kill her. That's what I'm feeling. There'd be no reason for us to be even playing the game if he did. Love Lynn. Dude, Lynn is so fun. I've just been listening, while gaming. Welcome in, Echo. I hope gaming is McFreaking epic. The young and the restless and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like it the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at him. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case... Also, he's too hot. Hot people don't kill people, right? Right? I've talked about this before. This is going to come up a lot, I think, when we play indie games. Because part of the reason I want to play more indie games... A, more representation for smaller creators. Especially after the Game Awards. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's give some love to actual indie games. But also inspiration for my own stuff. Which is another reason why this caught my attention when you brought it up, Scrubbin. The like 2D mixed with 3D environments thing, like 2D portraits and a 3D environments thing, because that's currently 2D like drawn, fully 2D drawn characters in like a 3D environment. I'm thinking the direction I might go with something I'm working on. So I'm gonna be talking about my own shit a lot. I'm sorry, but I love creative writing, so I'm gonna talk about it. One of my favorite things that I want to do and like doing is I like making bad guys hot, but like specifically like I want the most deplorable pieces of shit to be so hot that you start to question your like more like your principles a bit. Like the idea that I can make a character so horrible and shitty, but they're so hot that someone has to look in themselves and be like, okay, they're a literal fascist, but I'm like simping for them. I need to like reevaluate myself and my priorities here. Like that just that's so funny. That's a funny way to fuck with your audience, honestly. So I even though there's, you know, the trope of like the hot people are good guys, the ugly people are bad guys. No, man, I want to make my villains hot, and the bigger piece of shit they are, the hotter they gotta be. We love your shit, don't worry. You haven't even seen my shit. I never send pictures of my toilet. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. A whole career path of promotions and bonuses and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results politely informing him that he was not a viable candidate. It sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest, like he was glad they didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. That's actually very human. I will say the dialogue in this game's been pretty good. I like it. Like, it's dry, but like I think that's fine for this type of game. And like I always liked really dry stuff. It sucked a lot. It sucked that a lot of the shitty people in One Piece were designed to be deliberately ugly. We need more hot or evil people. Yeah, no, for sure. Like that's actually one of my, I think one of the reasons I like doing that too is because there's this trope in JRPGs where there's always a hot lady in the bad guy army or like the bad guy's team, and she redeems herself by the end and becomes a good guy. And I'm like, no. Like this is a character who's doing horrible things that are irredeemable. I don't care if she's hot. She's living a fascist. She's dying a fascist. All right. There's one character in the Alien story who's going to have a bit of that with her whole thing. Galaxy, welcome in. How do you do? Where it's like she's very clearly like she's done fucked up stuff, but does try to kind of make up for it. But I don't want it to be this whole like all is forgiven because she's a good guy now, but more so like she fucked up and the least she can do is try to keep more violence from happening based off of her actions rather than, you know, oh, she joined us in the final battle, so she's a good guy now. We're just going to like forgive her war crimes, you know? Because that's one of my least favorite tropes in media. One of my biggest issues with Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Though, I don't know, rewatching it, maybe I respect it more. But I did think the whole thing with Scar, how everyone was just like buddy with him when it's like, you've literally killed our friends and their families. Why are we suddenly cool with you? Because you helped us fight that one guy. Okay. Like that shit was always like really weird to me. It's something that's always rubbed me the wrong way. I always figured I always figured if I start at all, I'd start small. A hand for an eye, test the water. Never thought about lobbing my whole damn arm off, but the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, because of the NCDA, there was a financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit canned, so now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit. The New Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. I doubt you'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. I worked the tighter spaces in the high-volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know. Speaking freely now, don't need to do much more to repeat his words back to him to keep him from talking. But the right word choice here and there could still make a difference. You work on the canopy, that must be under a lot of pressure. Must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off. Damn straight. And with this crap with Long, once I got word out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that internal affairs is going to come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. That shit even applies to real life. Some people brush off celebs doing fuck shit when they come back way too easily. Oh yeah. That's why like cancel culture is so dumb. Like the idea that it's like a thing that, you know, these celebrities should be afraid of, because it's like, dude, it's like you just like, holy shit, there's streamers now even who like did horrible fucked up shit, left the internet for a year, came back without saying anything about it, and they're just like back at it again. Like I keep getting recommendations of like a recent, like this week, clips of fucking like Call Me Carson, and I'm like, what are we doing, man? So like the fact that anyone actually like believes that shit is like a threat to them, I'm like, you're dumb. Like you're just trying to like victimize yourself when you're not the victim. He still exists. Yep. Apparently. Oh, I already read this part. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering. Yeah, and no patience for screw ups. He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that rejection issue starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection. Did therapy not take? Ah, okay, that's what the pills are for. It's not like that. I wasn't oozing I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So those cuts on his face are just from shaving. Like that's cute. Never thought this would go on so long, so I had to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms, just oversensitivity, they said. An easy fix. But the problem got bigger. Gonna let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Yeah, I like this. I'm enjoying this. I like the I really enjoy like tiny little jokes like that in it. Small enough that they don't like break the tone of the overall scene. Feels very grounded in conversation. I could go on rants like of tangents for over an hour about comedy and non-comedy storytelling and how much I love it and when it's done right. Where'd you turn it in? Some ass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't believe. Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no, I found a dozen over clinics with shorter wait times. But as long as I'm renting and not owning, the manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. That's why I'm sitting here like with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. I've been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I got 2 working arms again. Couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself. Just in the meantime, I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up, white knuckle tight. Hindi? Indiana Jones? Oh, How Industries got it. I cut myself when shaving just because I rushed things. Same. I did it yesterday. I was actually bleeding. My chin was bleeding not too long before I went live. Because I kept forgetting to switch out my razor. As I recall, he's registered with one of their habilis models. If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines. I'd lose the down payment and my arm. I'd never work in the city again. If this was last quarter, maybe I would have worked something out with the management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that long's in deep hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything arm shape attached to me. Did they give you something to wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is a dead weight 3-jointed landfill bait piece of shit. Sorry, it's a very shitty feeling having a part of your body that, you know, they cut corners on. It fits, it's compatible, technically. Can only slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend, and the quick titch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep or dead. So were you wearing it when you were arrested? Yeah, let's try to be soft. Walper, welcome in. How do you do? He did exactly what he should have for the safety of everyone, is being screwed over for it. Capitalism. Yippee! No, I wasn't, but I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging his evidence, so couldn't have gone too far. Detective Reeves was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm only because at the time in question he didn't have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far. He opened up as well as can be expected. However, if he's right-handed, how could he have shot with the gun with such accuracy? The mystery deepens. This has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. The delicate part? Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. I've known her since college. She had a few classes with some mutual friends. Good. Finally have some vacation time to look forward to. Let's freaking go. Are you going anywhere? Or are you just kind of doing just chilling? We shared a few classes of mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics, focused her studies on agriculture. Always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out of the gate, practically headhunted, you believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company would be lucky to have her, unlike... It's a real-ass job, paid real-ass money too. So her career was starting to pan out. Going to Iceland, which is exciting. Oh, when I was in Japan, there was a guy who had been to Iceland, I think the year before. And dude, bro talked about that shit a lot. I've heard Iceland's sick. Razors had fallen into the mother of all stumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No, Perigi Laboratories. I'd say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. Doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. Corn! Our client, one client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. So far, I can smell a deep setup here, like the feds were just desperate to catch anybody, then admit they were in the dark. That, or someone in the state is the killer, too, is another possibility. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco is about as tame as big business can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's going to buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. She never mentioned arguments or disputes. Corporate politics getting rough? I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. There's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. With no other suspects, I just can't reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. It got Maya Fey written all over it. It's the classic, man. How do you get people hooked on your detective story? Innocent person is framed chapter 1 every time. That's how it goes. AI did it briefly. Ace Attorney did it. Those are the only 2 games I've played. Yeah, the art style of this game is really unique. It's very cool. I like art styles that do this thing where the when the eyelashes poke out, like at the bottom of Morgan's eyes. The Scalera shows too. I can't remember the first art style I saw that did that. It's become a lot more popular. I do it too with my art. I just think it looks cool. Adds a bit of flair to the eyes. Makes them look all spiky and dynamic. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Oh, start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. All right, Miss Morgan. Freeman? Holy shit. When you're ready. We were arguing. We've been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. Hadn't been working. Haven't been making money. Haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money. The reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m. 8? Yeah, it must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things I shouldn't have. I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed a line. We both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah, I walked out the front door, thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid, thick like mud. And while I was pissing away the time, Diane was... Did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics? No. I kind of stormed off, didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. Oof. With optics down, traffic and street level cameras won't help him. That leaves... did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything, cash or credit? Not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? May have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? It's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details straight. My head is... If my exact route would help, the cam's probably... What? What is it? Huh? Optics was what? Can that even happen? There's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you've got no alibi. This can't be happening. Stay away from the summoner. Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't. Carlos, I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now, you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first, but at some point it must have started running because when I got back, I was so out of breath. When I saw that, the front door was open. Something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't. You live on the first floor, right? It's fucked up that now having his location known at all times really fucked up his or not having his location known at all times fucked up his alibi. Yep. Yeah, first floor apartment, street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in, like it was some kind of big deal. In the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. Never thought that she was... The lights were off and the whole room was a mess. That we had been robbed or she had fallen or there was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw the gun. It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her. Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies, bad lies especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie, but it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive, and none of this works if he doesn't trust me. Stay up to date on the details of all evidence by checking on your phone. If your clients knows that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit. No, not my credit. Credit Karma, please. I'm so close to a 750. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact, and we know because of your prints. Your prints. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I was just... Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun, but not in a way that would satisfy the police. The moral of the story is that if you don't let Discord track your location, you'll be accused of murder. Yeah, everybody, the moral of the story, turn on your Instagram and your Snapchat location settings. Don't actually do that, by the way. You are asking to get stalked and killed if you do that. Please don't. The fact that, like, on default, Snapchat puts on your location is fucked. And I don't see enough people talk about that. Not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun, so stupid. I know what a gun looks like, but seeing in my own house right in front of me, you were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in, and sometime after that, I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast. It seemed like the rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Flashback to that one episode of Parks and Rec. I've actually never watched it. Also, hi, Vizzy. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight. Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. It's actually a common thing that just with the adrenaline running, people who find a crime often ruin evidence by touching things, especially if they knew the victim. Yeah, no, it makes sense. And again, I called it. I mean, I know it's like, you know, if you have any media literacy, you saw that coming from a mile away. Well, you know, it's the same thing with Mizuki pulling out the ice pick out of her mom's head in the beginning of AI. It's a fun show. Yeah, Parks and Rec. Wait, that's the one with Amy Poehler, right? Parks and Rec, because I get Parks and Rec and Arrested Development mixed up. Yes, Amy Poehler's Parks and Recs with oh my god, what's his name? Oh my god, what's his name? This is driving me nuts. The other person I know from it. There's a lot of people. Nick Offerman? No, actually. The Indian guy. What's his name? Oh my god. I used to hear his name around all the time. Him and Amy Poehler were the only people I knew by name. This bothered me. What's his name? This guy seems pretty usual, cut and dry, defensive as fuck, but didn't do it guy. Hell yeah. I'm looking this up. Aziz Ansari, yes! Yeah, because I remember people, it used to be cool to hate him. I don't know if he's like a good or bad person or anything, but I know Aziz Ansari, he was like the Nickelback of male comedians back in the day. And then the Nickelback of female comedians was Amy Schumer, which she ended up actually just being like a shit person, so that was fair. Also stole people's jokes all the time. The police say that we did. They assumed as much, which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos has told me, what else did they assume? How's the weather where you live? For me, it's like moderately cold, like 50s. Yeah, I'd be defensive as fuck with the cops too. I'd be like Mike Ehrmantraut being like lawyer. I only know him from that show, so I have a positive view of his. Very low sample size. Right. What is this? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an error module built from the data taken as the police entered, so... Right, it's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay. Let's see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what was out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. Just say whatever comes to mind. I don't remember exactly where everything was, but the mirror was upright, of course, and that clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, the bed got tossed, and the cushions torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry, that's all that stands out to me. I see. Like so? What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. It's just, I guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works too. My girlfriend's no longer living. That was pretty different. Yeah, that was kind of strange. Sorry, I didn't mean. I think your drawing was pretty good considering. I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. Also, if it was written... Hold up. If it was written with pen and ink, he didn't have his dominant hand, it would not have been neat. I've watched To Kill a Mockingbird. I've seen the part where they see where which side of the face the girl's black eye is on, and then he asked the guy to write his name on a piece of paper. A confession, but this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper. Same things I don't mean to. So this morning I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you in the note say that you hurt them. I broke her fidget tubbies. Oh, that actually makes me... They did note horrific handwriting? Oh, did they? Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, barely legible. She did say barely legible. You're right. Her what? I'm not gonna lie, that actually, that hurts my heart. Her fidget tubbies. Like, that makes me so sad. Because it's like, dude, if you find someone who apologizes that they hurt your plushies, you've literally found the one. They're these collectible ceramic character things. They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters? She loved those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. He looks so heartbroken about it. I know, like, that actually makes me really sad. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but a goddamn piece of shit rental arm. I hardly know where I'm swinging it half the time. I was so angry I ripped it off and tossed it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless. Okay, let's say he did break her fridge duckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it's a confession for the heartbreak killings anyway, I couldn't even bother to sweep them up, so I felt so... Alright, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. Now I'm going to call the police back here, and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask. The ceramic dust we found... Oh, true! What do you know about the heartbreak killer? What can you tell me about the Reapers? Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess? I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everyone's on edge. A gay like that. A gay like that out there. Whoops. A guy like that out there. I'm sure everyone's on edge when there's a gay guy walking the streets. Republicans be like. He shoots people through the heart, right? The police have kept victims' appearances far away from any upstanding news sources, so unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that's just... doesn't mean anything, does it? Is he this slow on the uptake, or is he going to be a real... wait, if he's this slow on the uptake, he's going to be a real shock when the officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory as quickly and as definitively as possible. 404. Like the error not found. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke whenever I want. For a fee. Okay. I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It'll be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh, and what are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, man, I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff. I meant more like playing cards. Oh, well, no, not that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. No way? What I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you've dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win, which makes things pretty fun. Literally, you don't lose until you cash out. Last thing you want to hear from your lawyer? Yeah, being a defense attorney is kind of like gambling. You know, you usually lose, but sometimes you get real lucky and make it out. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker. And in the State's the dealer? If only. No, the State's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yep. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there and we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do we do? How good are you at flipping coins? I'm asking you to call it. I'm telling you to call it, Carlos. I didn't put nothing on the line. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it until this moment. Now I'm asking you to call it. I love it when my lawyer starts going like, what's the most you've ever lost in a coin toss? Exactly! Dude! What's the most you've ever lost in a coin toss? Pardon? You're a deaf one, aren't you? What's the most you've ever lost in a coin toss? Such a fun movie. Fun, happy time for the whole family. We play the cards we're dealt as best as we can, win more hands than we lose. Keep it up and eventually someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder, whisper something in their ear, and then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins, so our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. That makes sense. Thanks, Morgan, but I guess I was more asking like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. What's up? You know, there's this thing about gamblers with strategies. Yo. Ready to confess yet? Oh, damn. Because I already woke the DA already. She must be new. Or she must be new. The game does one thing mega right. Police get claimed basically nearly everything based on what they see. They can make whatever assumption they see fit based on what they found if it means you might give in and confess. Europe. Which, well, they said it's a 98% conviction rate. Which, hey man, we say it's dystopian, but they're still being beat out by Japan with a 99, so, you know, they got some work to do, I think. The district attorney has a final say on whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long, protracted trials, and they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, then, you'll have to call him back, because my client's not guilty, and frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right! What she said. You got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession. Let's start there. Okay, well, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts, what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint-by-number stuff. See, we found a note at his apartment, and with his fingerprints on it, apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now how are you planning to spend that? Those are the facts, but I've been building my hand all night. Now I've gotten the weapons to answer everything they try to throw at me. My client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He was apologizing for... Analyze the facts as they're laid out, then review the responses in your hand. Select the card that best answers the question, the argument, and place it into the slot right. You can mouse over your opponent's portrait or a reminder what key points you're answering. Forensics, you cannot do that, especially in trials in America, especially. The most you can say is evidence is or is not consistent with the accusation provided. Oh. The debris. Revolver. It's the debris. It's the debris! You're simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? I found myself asking the exact same question. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room, it's created from data you captured, right? Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data. Yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. It's got a sense of humor, this game, I gotta say. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of the murder. Full of busted shit for sure. But it was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found in the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh, because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible for the debris to come from the vase, because that vase is still pristine. How is that possible? That lady in the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. The one time I tried to thrift shop on my own. Well, so what? What does it even matter? The vase doesn't have a scratch on it. Then debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote the apology over. You're saying this confession was apology for not vacuuming? I am, because the pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of fidget tubbies. Get the name right, goddammit! What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident. And this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that the client wrote this note. And we can all plainly see that the ceramic debris at the crime scene, since it couldn't have come from the vase, must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? What the hell are you on about? The entire room was trash, so the arcs clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gone pulverized during the struggle too. You really going to claim that he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. Like the theme music every time they say fidget tubbies. It kind of reminds me of the Hassie bit from Read Only Memories. I love Hassie. Delicious Hassie. Those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Rental, the notes. The arm, yeah? Let's take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? The one swipe of your finger should know exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your text found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm while he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed because even a cheap arm even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, it happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. Said that the rental had been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gone pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. I want a fidget tubby. Be kind of epic, I'm not gonna lie. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled and panicked that note is. You expect me to believe he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? I can't believe she likes the fidget tubbies. She likes the Teletubbies. Setting aside Detective Reese's surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct, they held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. The only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? So the reason that note looks so looks like an asylum wall scribbles, it's just because he had to use his left hand to write it. But can you fidget with the fidget tubby? Can you fidget with the fidget tubby like Stone Cold says so? Y'all think Reese has a My Figure collection page? Yes. Just because he had to use his left hand to write it. Tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left hand anyway. Just thought it'd be good practice. Taking that into account alongside ceramics. Your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Watertight. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun. That just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right. The coat is... Well, you're going to claim it's not his? That he actually wears the an extra small? She's trying to bait me in her typical low-key fashion. As the argument flows, you won't always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible while you wait for the more favorable chance. She must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious. What will be next? You want to tell me he actually wears an extra small? He doesn't wear an extra small. Raise. He doesn't wear an extra small. Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah. Yeah? Sure is no evil twin you've forgotten to mention? Stay. No, I'm afraid not. I'm even going to go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime. To prove his innocence, I'll need to get there eventually. But going there now without hard evidence. We stay. We stay. We keep staying. We stay our hand. We stay our hand. You think the police cared to look at your personal record, Carlos? Honestly, true. I have no evidence of a third person at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It's obvious she had something there. Wasn't going to win with that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene, which was not smart, but not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have these clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway. And here I thought the room smelled like... Morgan, what are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that, like, make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Okay, she kind of cooking. Wait. Really? Really? Not really. Well, well, what the... This detective is green for an amazing reason. Or this attorney is green for an amazing reason. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People of bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was that? Wait, what was it that reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket fresh off the lab. So what's your angle? You want to tell us it's actually just hot sauce? No. That'd be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey, sorry I just got thrown off by a turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. He has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart. But by a gun that happens to be an old, worn, pre-tagging firearm. Is it going to be a thing where, like... Why would he get close enough to hold her? I don't know. I think it might be a distance thing. I'm not sure. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Hold on, let me look at the law, because I was kind of talking over that. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. If the victim's blood is on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart, by a gun that happens to be an old world pre-tagging firearm, this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Okay. Sense happens to be the key here. I need to draw their attention to what they can. Smell, feel, see. Okay. What you can smell on the coat. What you can feel on the coat with your hands. What you can see on the coat with your eyes. I actually don't know. I'm already stumped. Hold up. Okay. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the same time as the murder. Like, smell is what I'm thinking. Because he went outside, right? But then feel freshness of the blood. See freshness of the blood. I think I see the thought pattern. Okay. Might be eyes, really. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. If the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart by a gun that happens to be an old world pre-tagging firearm. So this coat proves he couldn't be the shooter. Smell or eyes? I'm feeling smell is the thing, but y'all are saying eyes. This is a trick question. Do the ace attorney thing and turn the question around. What do you mean? What do you mean turn the question around? What you can see on the coat with your eyes, smell on the coat with your nose. Gunpowder. Wait. You're so right. Gunpowder. Just do me a favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. No. Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you just rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. Do you want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. Yo! Okay. I don't know how accurate this is to life, so I'm saying nothing. Listen, man, if it worked for it worked for us. Speaking of gunpowder, or the pattern of the blood stain. Ooh, true. Yeah. See, I was thinking smell because if you went outside, maybe like something like that. But yeah, gunpowder makes more sense. What about gunpowder? Don't blame yourself for not noticing. This is before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff, hard to store, prone to misfiring. A smear pattern rather than a splatter, right. So when she said old-fashioned when I got it. Got some detectives in chat, man. That's crazy. Gunpowder's weak. Oh yeah, I reread this. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. I've gone shooting before, and that shit sticks on you for like 3 days. It's fucking annoying. What the hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms, like the ones we carry, use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure, sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise. They don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces, but a revolver like this one, it'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. Yerp! Technically, it'd be both smell and eyes because no gunpowder smell, but also gun splash blood when shot at close range. So if he did shoot her, yeah, I'm thinking that maybe smell and sight were both right. Feel maybe they could do something about freshness of blood. I doubt it. Maybe. So, cause yeah, like both make sense to me with what everyone's saying. So maybe it was like you had a 2 and 3, which would be kind of neat design for our first like case or whatever, our first interrogation. So then his coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her, changed the clothes. It's not impossible, but it'd be pretty pointless. His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue, just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flett is facing, as soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now, should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them, but that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he's never actually fired the gun, I'll admit, things are a little dicey there at times. But once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did she get a message? Uh-oh. Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reese? You're good. Thanks. Twisting the truth in knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out, because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? Ooh. iPhone. A photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. We stay. Not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure there was. This isn't from optics. What? I lost a thing? Well, okay, but if I raised it, I lost more. That's how it works. Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubbers must have managed to dig something up from outside the network, which means... Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Okay, well, okay, the quality is lacking. Yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. Of the way Morgan's eyes go dark when she has more morbid thoughts. Yeah. It's neat. How is that Carlos, my guy? Maybe when we zoom in. Maybe when we zoom in. Hold up. Maybe he just doesn't have a recognizable silhouette. What are the goddamn chances? Now, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Which hand is the killer using? Can I look back at that, actually? Nah. Okay. Hold up. Evidence, maybe. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. I'll have to look at it again. But yeah. Guess the chances are always in their favor. Because yeah, I'm sure they'll show it again. Yeah. Because it looked like they had both arms. But like, I only kind of glanced at it, expecting it to come back up. Guess the chances are as always in their favor. All right, this isn't good. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he has both arms. Well, no, that could be pants sticking out. The blur here does not help over the shoulder. He is using his left hand, though. Oh, yeah, it could be a flap of a coat, too. This isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are, well, it's a little bit blurry. Don't look at me. I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone, probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on. So he managed to get this shot through the window. Where to begin? Yeah, how'd they get that angle? The clock, the clock will be relevant. Yeah, no, the clock. What the clock says? Oh no, that says right before 9 p.m. Hear me out. What if the shooter was left-handed, but how did he shoot directly in the heart? Right. I won't lie, this has been a fun stream. all of this speculation. Why is he aiming up though? What do you mean? If for a guy who notably cannot write with his left hand for his own life, how the hell will he shoot with his left? That's what I've been saying, and I'm surprised that hasn't come up yet. Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further. I could count the pixels on one hand, and you could kiss it its missability in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. There's no way in hell you could get this past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't, but I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could. Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the time of the whole neighborhood heard gunshot. And who do we know that had their left hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client, you think? We've established, but he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side, a left side that has no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you're going, you somehow end up dry. That doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Detective games are very fun. I like them a lot. I want to play more of them. Is the picture mirrored? It could be. But based on the clock, I don't think so, because the clock did show right before 9, which lines up with the time of the gunshot. Sorry, I was just catching up, see if there's anything I missed in chat. Okay. All of which is to say, before oh yeah, got that. Carlos is innocent. I know he is, but that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, that means the photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly? Positional data usually only accurate to the nearest public router. Because here's the thing. It looks like it's being taken from the perspective of the mirror that was broken. Who could have taken that photo if not our victim? Right. I think detective games are like also fun. Yeah, because they treat the cops like bastards. Exactly. Because it's like, usually you have like the asshole cops who are just like, everyone's guilty. You know, it's like you're the one fighting for people's innocence. Someone's being shot. Gotta get this on film. That's, to be real, that's actually kind of the world we're in, though. They said it was from a neighbor and it was on an automatic photo from the camera being always on. Right. But the angle is weird. Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DN on the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that it was taken from across the north window. But the mirror would have been blocking it. Right? Because the mirror was hung over that, right? This is from the north, and why can we clearly see the thing? It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I could seize an opportunity to start turning the tide. I think I want to raise. I'm afraid it's simply not possible, detective. The photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. What do you mean it was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot in the doorway. Your officer ARC's data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. Now your photo has shown the exact moment of the shooting. And you can raise the ante on a hand up to the current max. Answer wrong, you lose more credit, but answer correctly, you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. Of the gambling aesthetic the game mechanics have, the gambling is a really good, like, it's a really good choice, I gotta say. And altogether, it tells us this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider, where is it? Mirror was upright, clock was on the wall, cushion, yeah. Mirror was upright. Take one look at the clock in the photo. Oh, is it the clock? I thought it was the mirror. What about it? Wait, but if the photo was taken through the mirror, like on the mirror showing the shooter, then it was backwards. Wait. Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it and keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so don't tell me the time of death is wrong. Do I raise? Or do I stay? So a 3 o'clock shooting. It couldn't be that, though. I think we stay. Let's just see what he says. Wait, no, that clock reads 9 p.m. Same as the autopsy and the neighbor's reports. Didn't lose anything by keeping my mouth shut. Yeah, I think that was the safer bet. But I could have gained momentum. Yeah. So then what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the clock, how the clock reads. But do you remember there being a clock in that room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in the room is in the northeastern corner. My client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall, like so. Well, we still got there. What the hell is that supposed to be? And our artistic rendition. So you have the mirror, the window, the clock. Okay. It's very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs and show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slipped my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is, if the clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m., the same time the photo was taken of the shooter. If you want to claim that the clock's still on the eastern wall, when it would have been knocked down during the fighting, you've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Wait. Give me a second. I need to read that again. It was pristine at the time of the shooting. There's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. The vase or the mirror? Shards fell onto the victim. Yes. Glass shards, what about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. Right. Got it. And not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. That doesn't seem to make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what do you think when you saw a mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and that things gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective, but in this case, it seems that there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her. We have a photo right here. I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger, because this man in the photo couldn't possibly be Carlos. Like hell he can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, the clock was on the eastern wall, which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit, that's impossible. The only hallway in the apartment runs from the north to the south. The only person with prints on the gun is your client. And the only fact that matters, is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You've played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right out from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is, I think it's the mirror, right? Hold on. I think it's the mirror, right? By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure, they came from a standing mirror. That's what I thought. But the thing is, but now the clock, the time was right on huh? Unless it was flipped to make the clock facing right, which would mean that his hand should be in the right hand, right? A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across the room from the western window, but then that would mean at that angle from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. I'm smart. I'm a genius. I'm so fucking smart. Everyone else is dumb. Wait, but that is 3 a.m. Wait! Hold up. As we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks, and he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad it was recovered, because it just proved that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it, except looks like Detective Reese really is a novice gambler. Suncost has its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ears. It's a cold sweat, the hot palms kind of fever, the impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But unlucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reese. That's one word for it. Allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, my client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, you receive photographic evidence of the exact motive of the shooting. And instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted by a client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little starviness could be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. That's the best you've got. Even a bare bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. He'd have had to bring it to a clinic, which would have left a record of his shoulder OS, a record you won't find. And he still have to somehow gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of the violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it minimum. So where, Detective Reese, did he manage to find a cybernetic guard from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Get fucked. Well, Uh-oh. She's about to go crazy. Any objections? Detective? God damn it. Fold. Yeah, this game's sick. Scrubbin', you were cooking. You were cooking bringing this game up to me. I think it might be a critical hit. She's going to go Joker mode. Oh, shit. You're right. Show me your hand, Flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. I'm kind of scared he's going to die for, like, he's going to be the next murder in, like, chapter 1. Because of what London said earlier about, like, even if he's innocent, it made the state look bad. You know? We haven't even gone to the most lesbian scene in this chapter. I haven't even felt a lesbian scene so far. TBH honest. I might just become a detective since I seem to be such a genius in this. On God, man! What if the Joker could lawyer? What if the Joker could gamble? It feels like the world's becoming crazier. Make sure you think her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah, that's kind of you to say, detective, but my work is its own reward. Yeah, sure. Feel exactly the same, counselor. Well, what happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal, and there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through, but basically you're free to go. Congrats, you get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what do I do? What am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation to Heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements. That's not what I meant. Diane being gone is bad enough, but a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. What am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There's some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself. I tried to convince them, but I didn't. But you saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job. No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Yep. I'm freaking... listen, man. I knew to speak soft. The Joker cannot play poker right now because if he draws a Joker card, he reveals it by laughing his Joker laugh. Ha ha ha! I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all, I'm the killer. Ah. The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place, easy to find, hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain furling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom, only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with singular universal meaning, vitality, and at its climax, bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor is its own kind of lowbrow appeal. It's too obvious, though. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo was enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you a peace of mind. I don't look so surprised, lady. Hoping around in the dark here must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend, back for an encore for that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey, yeah, did you hear that? These old pieces are so goddamn loud. People aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. New profile, by the way. Hold up. Heartbreak. Criminal defense attorney, high places, gambling, guns, nosy people, mud, headphones, batting cages, Mapo Tofu, carry a tune. Flat. July 8th, 189 centimeters. He's a civil engineer, Canopy. He likes airports, worn shoes, firm bets. Why the fuck do you like airports? Dislikes cabs, musicals, cashews. Favorite flowers, poppy. Student debt, sizable. Luck, poor. I don't buy it. There's more to this. There's more to this. Whether it's like it's some sort of like personality bullshit. I mean, I doubt they're gonna do. I doubt you would recommend this game if it did the classic the multiple personality disorder thing. What if it is our twin? Or this was a bait and switch, and we're actually going to play as the other girl for the rest of the game. People aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Play aroused half the neighborhood. I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor in any the way in. Could they really not afford could they really not afford some throw pillows? There's the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped place is usually full of trash, but this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least organized even. How could Morgan be the heartbreak killer if she has a right arm? They had both arms, and they were right-handed. It was a mirror. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast, except there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. Actually, it's really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them. Not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. Toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration, try to savor the shredding. It can't be clean. I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it'll be consistent. If she killed her at 9, the mirror would have shown the right-handed killer at 3. That's the thing that's still confusing me. This doesn't seem like Morgan, but what if it was the fake Morgan all along we were with? What if this is the real Morgan? This was also stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on humility. Now, what is satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? Of all the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting, and all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. The photo wasn't the whole mirror. The clock wasn't reflected. Oh. So it was like what we thought was a door frame the mirror then? Feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because, well, I'm sure people come up with something. They got rejected one too many times or whatever. I mean, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least this room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing the mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. Yes? Okay, gotcha. And how it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly. It'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Go to riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air's weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel in every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers. It's always most comfortable right afterwards. Did I read that right? Comfortable? Comforting. Comfortable, yeah. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this, and I walk. Arthur? I killed him, Arthur. Sorry, using my left is still. That's okay, you can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation. Got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by eventually. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate since it was so late and so urgent. I'd wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, what else? A glass of milk with nothing? Okay, but could you imagine a bowl of cereal without any milk? Without any milk. Here and here. How did I phrase that earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? Would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. Would have gotten paid the same too, but easy is dangerous. See, I don't know, like, this all makes sense, but I'm kind of like, I'm just trying to think of, like, how is there a whole, like, 5-chapter story that's, like, way longer than this after this if it is just, oh, we know she's the killer. You know? I'm waiting for that, like, what's the kick here? Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes, more headaches. It does, but I feel like disappointment, is that the right word? Yeah, like, that's kind of why I'm like, this can't be what it is. Cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut case in haste. Now, no more murders matching HK's MO. There won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. She's the only killer of this chapter, not every case. Okay. It's an interesting bait and switch, but I'm just kind of like... Well, I'll have to see. I'll definitely have to see how, like, future cases go then. But no more murders matching HK's MO. There won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now, Heartbreak can just starve to death out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with the cases intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside... Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. Ah! That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. Obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane's grateful, too. Funny. I didn't even know her name. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just, I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was, too. So when she died, death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine she was in any pain. And in fact, I can guarantee you she was dead before she hit the ground. Now, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me. Present evidence? To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit anywhere else. It's the pills! Maybe you can make sense of it. Pills here! Finding out who Heartbreak is not the main story. It's barely a plot beat. You just get to play as a serial killer solving crimes, but if you didn't get to see her kill, it'd be like playing as a thief who never steals anything. That's how I see it, at least. Okay, we'll have to see how I feel about that then. Because, like, I don't want to play as her if she killed this girl. I don't want to follow her. Where did you find that? The pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexosone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky clasps, too, for a pill organizer. I guess to catch who's not a killer, we've got to play as someone who knows how they actually think. Right, but I don't know. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died, even if they did. Feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all the time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think it will be like, I'll have to play another episode to see how I feel about the shtick. Because for me, I'm kind of like, well, I don't want to follow her because I don't like her anymore, right? Long night, that was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings, that I'll ever even see him again. But overstepping like that is pure hubris. Hubris invites a downfall. So why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I just need to show more restraint next time. So there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The medium will move on to their next obsession. It's very Death Note. Gotcha. I'll move on to my next MO. That's the thing. I was never interested in Death Note because I didn't, like, care for, you know, following the bad guy much. That said, Breaking Bad's like my favorite show, so maybe that's not like a good analogy. I don't know. Found you, District Attorney Rockford. Ugh. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? Do you do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to approve a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. Is this Yooree? See, she doesn't deserve Yooree now. It's part of what makes her good at the job, and hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? Oh, not Emma, but the main character. What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well, actually, I'm here for you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well, then you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? It's always the unintended, Barbs, with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl, Reese. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. The defendant ex-prosecutor Yooree, except the defendant is also a murderer, goes hard. I see the vision. I like wholesome stuff, so not for me. Reminds me of Dexter. I was also thinking of Dexter when that was brought up earlier. I like the idea of playing this without knowing what a prosecutor is. That is pretty funny. It's hard to kill while leaving behind so little. So Reese, told you they had HK in custody and they popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Hardly. I hadn't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart. Yeah, my ears perked up, but that's about it. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer? The same serial killer that outsmarted the state for weeks? She's not using his middle name. He was found with a murder weapon, but I can answer that any number of ways. We'll do the gunpowder. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder. God damn it. Why can't I speak? And it's always the worst ways. If I had a decent PC, I'd probably play this. To be honest, it probably isn't that hard to run. No gunpowder residue on Hammer's clothes. Gunpowder! Gunpowder! Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note, whatever it was about. His dominant hand modded. With document sensitivity issues, never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy not to leave imprints. That's what you meant by aiming so high. Okay, okay. She got all that from a glance? I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in here. Of course. Worst part is, she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationships, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, right, sorry, you've probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile's okay, the critical psychology based on evidence. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess the why when 99 times out of 100 the who is caught on camera. Huh? I thought I had to sneeze. I think I'd be more into it if she had a justifiable reason. Yes, 100%. Like, if there was some, like, you know, reason that the girl should have died. But, like, she seemed innocent, and I feel bad for Carlos, so I'm kind of like, man, I don't like Morgan, and I don't really want to play as her now. I'd rather play as the girl with the eye patch and have to catch up to Morgan or something, but I guess that would be kind of boring because you would already know who you're chasing, right? It would be like dramatic irony, but that's all there is. We know everything, but she doesn't know anything. That'd get annoying. I don't know. Before they even leave the house, I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Heartbreak's MO. At least the Heartbreak Maniac will slow down that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. Just makes it even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were the other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, kind of look like me. What if she's next? Do they? Sure, what, you don't see it? Kinda thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have a lot more than 6 occasions to practice Morgan. I like that she doesn't because I like how the game shows a bunch of layers to her. It's fun to say Morgan's psychology. That's why I think Heartbreak is a misnomer. You've got something catchier in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets, 6 kills guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. The real signature isn't the bullets of the gun, it's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that 6 murders were just, I'm just saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, and a mistake. Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, now they've got the public's attention. No wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you've said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed the room doesn't seem like a smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. That was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your prof, I'll tell you all that? That? No. The part's just, takes one to know one. Ho 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 ho. So this profiling is some kind of investigative technique. The theory is that the crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. And there's the things that you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside of the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. I'm not thrilled about the fact that, in that metaphor, I would be, know what I mean? Definitely! So it's the kind of game where you're picking apart what's wrong with her. Again, I'm not a toxic Yooree person, so like this doesn't do stuff for me. Considering the marksmanship, the detective said that HK would have needed insider information and optics. So does that mean Heartbreak's in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh, antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after a first full rotation. That's exactly how I'd put it. Must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary. These types can't help but insert themselves. I don't insert. I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK is not a cop, how did they know about the blackout timing? Crime made a statistics analysis, probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips in. Sorry, technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type in a city with 8-digit population. Well, good luck. She said while inserting herself into this case. Teehee. I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan, I mean, I need more crime scenes. Oh. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't, but getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. The devil! Fair enough. Woof. Okay, this rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep less, but harder. I think a higher thread count would help. Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to your ramble. It's a lot more pleasant having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first onto the table, I won't even take a picture. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. And the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. That's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set aside and work dozens of other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off her. I can't take my eyes off of you. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. Episode 0 ends. Okay, right at 3 hours. Not bad. Oh, there's more? Question mark? Android. Ah, here we go. I saw a picture of this girl and I was excited for her. So is she an android or is she talking to an android? Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. Oh, she's talking to an android. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. If she dies, we uninstall the game. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. May as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on, it'll be fun. Really? Really, educational too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. What? What? Art direction by... Oh, okay, I was about to say, Evil Little Bug. Oh, the Evil Little Bug. I can't believe Taranza made the art. Programming by Patrick MCF, Minecraft fucker. 3D modeling by AA Renders. Environments by Patrick, Minecraft fucker. AA Renders. Written, directed, developed by Brian Mulholland. Evil Grok. What if it's woke Grok? Volunteer playtest by Griston, Hugh J, Maxi, Sadie Virtuous Varmint, S Thumbbutt, Thomas Collimander, Xenons. Special thanks to Adrian. Is that at Alter LNX, Alter Linux, Exumbrant, Kill Jill VT. What the hell? Jill's my favorite character. Motto, Man Monks. Special thanks to Dev Talk, Philly Game Mechanics, our friends and family, you the players. That's me! I'm the player! Full attributions avail at ofthedevil.card.co. Made with Unity, nananovel.tween, Pro Builder, Shapes, screen cap that. A game by Nth Circle of the Devil, episode 0, and he shall appear. To be continued in. You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Oh, that's the android. I think it's cool to bring something like that flawed into the world. This hurts my head! I hate this! You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything. That wasn't already compromised. Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after, too. Wait, cute? Yo, hold up. This person's design. Can tell you how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus. So that's not just a lawyer job thing. You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too. What the hell? The characters look cool as hell. Compared to determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. It's a million times more likely than the alternative. The Heartbreak could never stop themselves from killing. Father said that you owed him. I'll do anything out of the goodness of my heart, but when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Of the Devil, Episode 1. An Idle Mind. Yeah, no, that background was much. I did not like the background there, but it's gone now. I think. Do you think you'll stick with this game or move on to something else? I'm not going to go straight into episode 1. I want to at least do episode 1. I'm not feeling the direction it's going right now, but I think I need to give it more time. I need to give it a chance to prove itself wrong, or to prove me wrong. I enjoyed it enough where I'm interested to see where it goes, and that's enough to keep playing. And with how much I enjoyed everything up to the end, I'm interested to see how they make me engaged with a character that I don't like and don't want to win, right? So I'll definitely check out episode 1, and then after that, we'll figure out how I'm feeling on continuing it or not. That said, it is going to take some time before I can play it, because I don't have money right now. Is it money? This is the first stream I've watched from start to finish, so I def tune in for future chapters. Hell yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, so I'm definitely interested to keep playing. Like I said, I would like to start doing, have an indie game in the rotation, for weekly, like every week on streams. So congratulations, you finished episode 0 with 28 credit. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios. Wait, bonus scenarios? Wait, hold up. Tempted to gift sub so you have money? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I get paid Monday or Tuesday. And gift subs, I won't actually see that money for another month. So it wouldn't actually change anything. So don't worry about that. Because Twitch paychecks are payouts are monthly. They roll out monthly. So phone charms and case colors. Wait, that's cute. But yeah, so I do already know I want to play Unbeatable first. That's the first indie game I want to like add into the rotation as a full playthrough. I've been interested in that for a while, and it just came out, and I've heard good things. So we're probably going to start that next week. Assuming I do in fact get paid Monday, Tuesday, and the holidays don't push back my YouTube paycheck, Lamau. I don't know how that works because I'm still new to this, but that's the plan. Concept Galaxy, bonus scenario. What's the bonus scenario? Is it like new cutscenes? It is interviews. These are cute. Reese interview. Let's see how long these are. We'll do one of these. You can start now that my desktop's censored. So for the record, your full name is Farah Reese. And how's that pronounced? Like how I just said it? Farah Reyes. Reyes. Okay, got it. Where do I apply to become detective? Where do I apply to be, where do we apply to be detectives? On, steam.com/ofthedevil episode 1 purchase now. Thank you. Your birthday is October 19th. And how do you take your coffee? She makes you fetch the coffee? Figures. Let me guess. Counselor Morgan takes her coffee black. No, decaf, like a real psychopath. Decaf, yes, sometimes with milk. Nice, that's even worse. And you, detective? With 2 sugars and a bottle of water. Now I've got this. You mean your eye? When do you have it modded? After I learned I was getting promoted to detective, and before I realized I was getting promoted to homicide. Do you regret it? No. Would have wanted it for work eventually. If it takes me a while longer to pay off than I expected. I fucking love this concept, and I want more games to do this. Cute little interviews with the characters in the game. I love any like extra dialogue stuff like this in games. That's why the Tales series, like one of the biggest reasons the Tales series is one of my favorites is because of the skits. Anything like this, please put these in your games, please. Oh my god. I would have wanted it for work eventually. If it takes me a while longer to pay off than expected. Oh, I read that. I'm hardly the only person my age walking around with their depths socketed onto them. Let's see. What are your likes? My likes? Pretty broad ass, don't you think? In that case, perhaps you find it easier to describe your dislikes. Small plates. Oh, I hate that dinner by 1,000 cuts shit. I see. I dislike cheap people and liars. Okay, so some of these are kind of just like the profiles we already read, though. and lawyers. Lawyers, they're smug, prideful. They build by the minute greed. They're build by the minute greed personified. Like their time is so goddamn important, and they're annoying and pale and smug. Should I put down smug twice? Oh, short. It's cute. Oh no, there's more. So what do you like, detective? Do you have hobbies, areas of interest? Well, automotive history, we knew that, maybe. Can you say more about that? I guess I could talk about it a little bit. It's been altered from its original format. It's been edited for time. It's supposed to be a luxury version of the pickup truck, and there's a market for that. So it's so stupid. I love it. And the purplish, bluish, chromish color. The copyright was so intense that just mixing the paint was illegal for. Is she autistic? Naturally aspirated. Can you imagine? I see. Do you own a car yourself? You're joking, right? I'd rather eat asphalt than buy an EV with my hard-earned money. The following section has also been altered. It has been edited for time, strong language. 4 rotors and computer chip. That's not engineering. That's barely even programming. And as if acceleration was all that mattered. Any race longer than 2 seconds. Simulated engine noise. And, who in the right? I don't know who that is. Girl applying to be a cop. Man, lawyers are so greedy. Yeah. I love when the writers have fun with their characters. Yes, like the old... Yes, the bumpers. I love when a game show more personality than game characters. 100%. 100%. I believe that fills out your dislike section. So what's your favorite drink? Dark and stormy. Pretty good. How do you make that? Ginger beer, rum, and a lot of lime juice. You putting together a recipe book or something? Who's your hero? Well, that one's easy. Detective Kazim London, of course. Oh, should I relay your sentiments to him? I'm sure he'd love to hear them. Some I doubt you'd get the tone right. Very well, in that case. What are your 3 sizes? My what? The measurements... Kill. I designed my interview process to extract all the same kinds of facts that are most commonly listed online. On what websites? Open source, collaborative, community-focused data... Oh, yeah, wiki. Would you prefer to skip this question? Tell you what, if you can find a single person who does answer that question, I'll give you mine down to the millimeter. Okay. We're not gonna look at all of those. That was pretty freaking cool. Concept gallery. Concept art, pretty cool. I love that the art is like kind of funky. It's very makes me feel very good about like my art not being perfect when doing concepts and stuff. Oh, we can zoom in. Oh, the V-Sync is all fucked up though, so that's making me dizzy. Actual character sheet. This is cool. This is cool. Hold up. Oh, I like her the most. She's my favorite so far. Women, am I right? His chin looks normal there. This is so cool. I like this, man. Oh, the hair. They definitely. Come on. This is Date, man. This is Date. The hair bun. Light white, like whitish hair with a hair bun. Come on now. He looks like he's melting. Babe, it's time for your 4 p.m. Cock flattening. Yes, dear. I actually kind of like this design more. Oh, you can't see my mouse. The middle one. The hair is more fun. But also I'm biased with like the floofy ass spiky hair that I give all my characters. Yeah, this is cool. I like looking at stuff like this. What? The parallels! Parallels! I didn't even notice, dude. How did I miss that? That's like really obvious now that I'm looking at it. Oh, there's this character. Dude, her design is awesome. Also, green and orange. I'm a little biased, but I love that. Love to see it. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Oh. Her in the gear. Alright. Cool. I'm assuming the gallery is shared across all games. Okay. That was neat. She's the android. I noticed that. Is she? I thought she was talking to the android. What am I doing? Main menu. All right. Well, that was a cool little game. Bit of a shorter stream today, but honestly, I think I needed that. Oh, that's the bunny video. Whoops. We watched that earlier. I do think we're not going to do anything else. We're just going to call it early with a 3-hour stream. We've been doing long streams lately, and I am tired because I never did quite catch up from streaming so much last week. So we're just going to chill with that. What is tomorrow Saturday? Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday. I don't know what my plans are for tomorrow. There's a chance I won't be able to stream tomorrow. I may have plans, but the chances are they'll be late at night, so I should be able to stream. If I do stream, I have no idea. I'm just going to say it'll be something. I said we were going to do the Kirby Air Riders Nuzlocke today, by the way. I ended up not doing that because I had to set up more things for it. And so that's been... I promise we'll do it soon. But just not today. And probably not this week at this point. Thank you for checking out the game. It means a lot. Yes, thank you for recommending it. Would you consider playing Deltarune? Maybe. It's not high on my list, but like maybe eventually. Stream was good. Enjoyed the game quite a bit. Actually, the art is fun. Yeah, it's a very... it has a lot of personality. It stands out. Which, with... Again, after the Game Awards, is very refreshing to see. It was nice hanging out. Hope you have a nice rest. Thank you. You too. But yeah. And again, if anyone else is interested in this game, that first chapter was for free. Completely free. And then each chapter after that, let me look at that. They're pretty cheap. It's on sale for $8, but $10 usually. And then a new chapter, chapter 2, comes out like next week. So I didn't watch the Game Awards. Was it much AAA? It was pretty bad. But yeah. So anyway, I may or may not be back tomorrow. We'll see. If you don't see me, I'm alive. It just things came up. So either way, we will be live on Sunday. So yeah. Thanks again for stopping by, gamers, and I hope everybody has a good rest of their day / a good night. Bye-bye!